Yo, what up? It's Bossix. Recently, like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, I got my first Demigod rank. I'm super excited. And for some of you, it's like, oh yeah, just Demigod, that's normal. But for me, it's the first time. It's a big achievement. I haven't really played similar games, so it was quite a challenge for me. And so I'm making this video so I can share my experience and tell you guys how I did it. Maybe give you some tips. If you look at my statistics, for example, it's not the greatest. You see, High Roller, I played 55 games and I only had won 9 fights with players, and I died 21 times. And to be fair, a lot of those times are dying to PvE because I was going hell and it was quite difficult. But nevertheless, you see, I'm not like the greatest player, you know. So I'm gonna tell you how I did it. From time to time, you might see in the background a compilation of mostly my deaths, because every time I die, I press record and I try to review the replay and see what can I do and how can I play better. So you might be wondering, okay, I've got my Demigod, I was probably running crazy gear, whatever. No, it's just my kit is like 1,000, 2,000 gold. It's not a big deal. And so what I did with my kit is I tried to buy stuff that was useful, that was good enough, but stuff that people wouldn't really pick up when they kill me. Because I didn't feel confident enough to run full bisc kits or like really good gear, because I feel like if I make one small mistake, I might die on my Warlock, for example, get rogued. So, you know, I felt more comfortable running average kits. Probably would take me faster if I run the better gear, but again, I wasn't experienced in high roller solos, so I just wanted to make sure that I don't feel bad when I die, you know, or not as bad, because I felt bad already. As you can see, like my movement speed is just 307, 100 life, really. My knowledge is just 21, really not crazy. So this is what I was going for with my gear. Helmet, just one additional magical damage, any helmet. And if you're doing the same strategy as I am, buy the cheapest one, because people pick these helmets up usually. So I don't know why. The 100 gold. So you buy the cheapest Mystic Gloves, people pick those up as well. You kind of get the cheapest ones. And probably people pick this up because they're farming AP. And in Ruins, you cannot get as many epic items, so just they're probably going to next level and they stash it to their expressment. That's my guess why they pick these items up. But again, they're 100 gold. So this is more expensive, like 200 gold, maybe 300. But you can go for a cheaper chest piece. I started with occultist tunics when I started because they're cheaper. But you know, as I got more money, I was like, I'm just gonna upgrade this one because I think it's just really good. So 3 magical healing, a chest piece, nothing else really. 2 agility on these ones, 100 gold, a little bit more. Boots are a little bit more expensive, 200 gold, but I get 5 movement speed, and sometimes people don't pick these up, they don't know how much that costs actually. And this is like 100 gold, super cheap through magical damage, you wouldn't think. Then for the rings, I get just the cheapest additional damage rings, and that's it, whatever I can get. Knowledge, agility, vitality, vitality is pretty good. And also sometimes get ring as courage as well, because physical power. And for the spellbook, I usually just get 3 magical healing, maybe 2, pretty cheap. And then I got a crystal sword with 3 physical power, because we're lacking on usually lacking on physical power bonus. I, for example, have this ring, you know, we're negative, so you really want to have positive power, so I just get crystal sword with positive power. And for the necklace, I usually invest more gold in this one because I think it's important to have through magical damage and magical healing. So that's this is like 200, maybe 300 gold, right? So the kit is not crazy, and if you don't die to complete noobs that don't have any gear, they're not gonna pick up, you know. Most of the times I died was actually because I was fighting people with a lot of gear. Beast people, they just kind of run you down, rush you down, and there's not much you can do. And that's why also one of the reasons I didn't want to buy really good gear, because I knew eventually I'll run into people that are way better gear than me anyway, and then they're gonna outgear me. So I feel like if you go gear, you need to go really hard, or do like me, just like mech gear. Then when I started playing, I was super, super awkward. I didn't know what to do, and I just kind of hesitated all the time in team fights. And for some reason, I was really nervous when playing high roller solos. I don't know why, but it's just my thing. So, in order to overcome that, I highly recommend, if you're wondering, I highly recommend playing arena. Like I play when I was grinding my ranks. I spent the whole weekend, one weekend, just playing all day, everyday arena, and that just built up my habits or like reflexes, habits. I learned the spacing, how to do, how to approach team fights, different angles, and that kind of got me on just like the mechanics. You can get really good mechanics if you play arena, and since I played arena a lot, I got way more confident and I knew what to do when the team fights happen. So even though it's boring, it's not really boring to play arena. If you want to get better, like I got better arena, 100%, big improvement for me. And you might be wondering, oh, but will I have enough money to buy this gear? It's probably expensive. Yada. The thing is, I made a shit ton of money doing this. This gear is super cheap compared to money you will make. I bought like this many coin bags, and I bought a bunch of gold, froststone ore, bunch of resources, backup gear. So money is not really a problem. I mean, unless you die all the time to PvE. Which, I died once 4 times in a row. It was so painful, and most of it was PvE. Man, it's so frustrating. But if you play carefully, gold is not. So to finish my AP grind, I used Ruins as my map, and you might be wondering, why did I pick Ruins? So let's go through all the maps and see what are the advantages and disadvantages of all of them. Because I try and see how all of them worked, and I like the Ruins best suited my playstyle more. So let's start with the Goblin Caves. The Goblin Caves has very low entry cost, so dying in Goblin Caves doesn't feel as bad. And there's a lot of people who are aggressive and want to PvP, which is cool. So if you like PvP, Goblin Caves is a good map to go. However, if you go to higher ranks and you want to actually rank up faster, you'll be forced to do bosses. So if you don't enjoy bossing in Goblin Caves specifically, or you don't have a class that can do it efficiently, probably not the best way to do it. However, if you're god in PvP, you probably want to do the grind in Goblin Caves. When you're starting off, if you wanna, never played high roller, you wanna get familiar with the PvP, you can do high roller goblins. You probably go up in ranks anyway, because again the entry cost is a little small. But again, if you want to finish, you probably need to transition into Ruins or Ice Caverns later. So the next map is Ice Caverns. This is the best way or fastest way how to get adventure AP of all the maps, in my opinion. The only problem that Ice Abyss or Ice Caverns faces is that once you go to Ice Abyss, you will be forced to fight someone most of the time. So my build is not really meant for PvP. I'm like more PvE, and I'm just trying to avoid fights. So I did try this strategy, but once I understood that I go to Abyss and I have to fight people usually with more gear than I have, then at some point I was like, nah, I'd rather go Ruins and then avoid fights. Why is Ice Abyss and Ice Caverns the best map for AP? Well, because it has monsters that give the best AP. While if you look at the Ruins, for example, there's Cockatrice or Centipede that give Cockatrice and Worm, which give 15 or 20 AP. There's a Wraith and Skeleton Champions, 25, and Golems have 25 AP. Those are not really easy to find in the map. There's very rarely any Skeleton Champions. Wraiths are very rare. Golems are in very dangerous place on the map. Giant Worm is like very risky. You have to go down there. Cocytus is fine, but it's 15 AP, which is nothing really. So, I mean, Ruins is fine, but if you look at Ice Caverns, Frost Giant Shielder, the big shield guy, or the Berserker with two-hand weapons, right? 25 AP, and there's a bunch of them. You can go Ice Abyss, Ice Caverns, and kill 4 of them in one match. Is 100 AP, just for that. And then there's Yeti, which gives 35 AP. Again, you can kill 2 Yetis easily in one game. It's a good AP. And then once you go to Ice Abyss, you can get Wendigo or Frost Demon. Although you probably won't have time because you have to fight someone there. But to be fair, so in that sense, there's a lot of targets or a lot of places you can go to get some good AP by killing monsters there. And obviously there's also chests. You can open chests there as well. So if you like put that together, Ice Abyss and Ice Caverns is really probably the fastest way how to get AP. If you farm PvE, many. But if you look at the ruins, then there's Demon Berserker, Demon Centaur, for example, which both give 50 AP. However, there's some maps where you spawn on the other side of the map, and there's just it's unreasonable to go across the map to kill just those 2 bosses. So you don't really get to kill those in the ruins anyway, right? So in Ice Caverns, Ice Abyss, there's a lot of targets, mini bosses or sub bosses. They're easy accessible, you know, and they give reasonable AP. So it's really good. However, again, in Ice Caverns, there's 2 spots where you can only go to the Abyss. So first of all, if you spawn near those spots, people will be moving around you, very close to you, because everybody kind of slowly starts moving towards that place. So if I wanted to avoid PvP, so in that sense, that's like I'm forced into PvPs. And the other thing is when I again go to Ice Abyss, like it's super easy to cross modules, you know, and sometimes you have to cross modules because there's one guy spawns on one side, you spawn on the other side, and in the middle there's a portal. So you're just kind of forced to fight people there. So I decided to go for Ruins. So why did I decide to go for Ruins? The reason I decided to go for Ruins is because the maps are very large and it's easy to avoid people. So the hardest part in running Ruins is probably just the PvE in hell, because it's really hard. You have to know the cheese spots, how to do it mechanically, all the like demon bats and centaurs and berserkers. Maybe not berserkers. You need to know cheese spots. You need to be able to survive, have to pull mobs. Like, it's very hard. Inferno is hard, but if you can get through it, that is the map with the least PvP. Because again, the Ruins is a very open map. You can go across modules. You see someone, just run into a room. You can see someone from far away, for example. Then once you go into the next level, which is crypts, it's super easy to avoid. There's very few people usually there, so it's easy to avoid fights there as well. You just kind of stick to the edges of the map, and once you get into Inferno, very rarely you're gonna see people. There are some times when there's a lot of people going into Inferno, then it's super awkward to fight there. But most of the time you kind of chill, and if you just keep your module, kill your module, you have enough AP and stuff, and you're gonna be good to go. So let's talk about the Ruins map, because if you're going to farm AP, that would be the most difficult part. I mean, if you want to avoid PvP. If you want PvP, you want to find people, go ahead, that's no problem. Again, my build, I would need a lot more money or gold to invest in my build, because I would need movement speed. I need 320 movement speed if you want really PvP and make sure you don't die, and that's quite expensive. I didn't want to invest in that. The downside is that if I run into rogues or barbarians, it's pretty much over. I mean, if they're geared, because they're just gonna run you down. There's really nothing you can do about that. You're probably gonna see in the background a couple of clips of that as well. But here I have made like a map where I marked good rooms and bad rooms that I try to avoid. So let's go through all the rooms and see. I will explain why I like some rooms and why I don't like some rooms. Usually I marked the rooms red that either are very populated with players, so the players move, or PvP guys look for other people there, or they have mobs that I really don't like. So first of all, the biggest room you probably don't want to go is the let's see, let's do this. You don't want to go into the bridge. This is the reason being the bridge. The reason why bridge is so bad because people can see you from far away. So if you're on this side of the bridge, someone's other side, or oh yeah, there's a player, and they can decide if they want to go fight you or not. So yes, so the room is very open. People can see you. Usually there's a red portal here, so people gather all here. So it's not really good room to be in. The same thing for the center of the map. It's also next to the bridge. So that room is also not great. Because people, there's a health shrine here, so people gonna rotate back and forth these two places if they want to look for someone. So if you want to avoid fights, don't go to these rooms here. This room right here is bad because two reasons. One reason is because it's next to, again, bridge, so people move there a lot, so they can hear you, come at you. And there's also wisps in this room. Why wisps are bad? Because you can't flame walk. And I'll explain why that is bad in a second. This room also should probably mark red, because people, if you're like standing somewhere here, people can see you across the bridge, and you want to avoid fights. Don't be seen. This room has a wisp here as well, so that only that marks the map bad, the room bad as well, and it's close to bridge kinda. And this room is bad because there's wolves here, a lot of wolves, and if you're a warlock, generally speaking, you kinda like having mobs like skeletons around you. It's no problem, it's kinda advantageous for you. But if wolves are kinda bad because they're really fast and you can't turn around and curse them because they're gonna jump you. So wolves and wisps are the worst counters or your worst enemies in these kinda maps. Also, this area is very, very open, so if someone comes here, they can see the whole room. So they run to the other side, they can see the whole room. So if someone is looking for people, they will find you in these three rooms. Not really the best places to be. Then let's talk about some good rooms and why these rooms are good. So this is my favorite spot to spawn right here. Because for some reason people don't like this room. I assume because the harpies. There's two harpies. They're kinda, if you don't know how to deal with them, they can be lethal. I've died to them. There's probably gonna be a clip there. So if I spawn here, it's really good because I just go straight in this room. So if someone comes into the room, they see, oh, this is not cleared, so I'm not gonna go here, there's no one here. And I usually go even downstairs, clear this whole room, and then I go back to this room. Usually no one's here. I take also the go downstairs, open the royal coffin. So it's a very chill. It's very chill spawn. This is a really chill spawn. Then these two rooms are good to be in, but for different reason. If you don't spawn here, there will pretty much always someone will spawn here. They will spawn here, and I sometimes just rush to this room. For example, I've spawned here previously. What I do, I go into this room, I go here, go here, go here, and straight through here. The reason for that, why I rush this sometimes or always, is because first of all, I don't want to be in this area, like in the middle of the map, because I want to avoid fights, and I want to be at the edge of the map. And if I go through this room, this room, this room, I can pull like 20 skeletons behind my back, and those are very helpful. And sometimes it's so funny, I sometimes hear people talking about, oh, the mobs are so annoying, they're in the way, oh my god, get killed by a skeleton again, why it's in the game, you know. And when I hear that, my first thing that comes to my mind, well, these people have never played Torture Mastery Warlock, because if you're Torture Mastery Warlock, these skeletons are your friends. They're gonna help you a lot. So if you find the right classes in the corner, like I run up into this room, there's a rogue, and he just goes downstairs. He's like, fuck this, I'm not gonna do this shit. or people just run away when they see you coming with a gazillion skeletons. And not only that's not the only reason why it's good. If you can pull gazillion skeletons with you, you can get a lot of AP. So you just pull all the mobs, get some curses, flame walk, and you just get ton of kills. Super quick and easy AP. You loot up those corpses and you're good on AP that run. So these 3 rooms, free AP, super good. But you keep in mind that there's gonna be a player here. But if you pull 20 skeletons on you, you run into that room, and you don't flame walk. By the way, you don't flame walk the skeletons, so they're not aggro than you. It's gonna be a really difficult fight for them, and it's much easier for you because you can phantomize and stuff like that. So that's why I really like this area right here. This area is good just because one reason it's on the corner of the map. People usually don't like this room. People don't like this room usually. So this is pretty safe to be in. Sometimes I've had people come in. I've fought some people. But generally speaking, if you spawn somewhere around here, this is the best room to really be in. It's not the best room on the map. Here is the best rooms on the map. But if you spawn here, this is kind of the best room. You know, best of the worst, because this is not a good spawn. I don't want to be here at all. Talking about not wanting to be, so as you can see, all of these areas right here are really bad. So that's what makes this area good. The only reason why this area is good because all of these are bad. And people usually don't want to come in this room because there's a lot of skeleton archers, and I think they don't like that. And then also this mage, people really don't like deal with that stuff, so they usually don't come. So when I play around areas somewhere here, I usually come to this room, and I've never had really anyone come after me. Or there was one guy, a wizard, who came in after me, but he got killed by PvE. So it's advantageous, right? So if I sometimes spawn here, I just go around and break the door and pull everything here, and I do this room. And talking about this room is also really good. There's a lot of mobs that are slow, and they're easy to flame walk and use as food. So I just come into this room, try to kill the archer here first thing, so that it doesn't bother me. And then I just pull everything else and just run circles and I kill the whole room. It's good, pretty decent for AP. Got some loot. But you have to be careful with this room because there's a red, there's a blue. So people want to come to this room later in the game to leave. So you gotta be careful, but it's good arena to fight as well. These mobs are really, really helpful in that sense. All the other rooms, kinda alright. So this is not populated room, but it's close to the middle, so it's alright. This room is pretty good actually. People don't want to go there, so in that sense it's good, but there's like a harpy and like a bunch of weird mobs. It's not great. This room, people usually don't go to this room as well. So it's decent room. This room, it's really open. There's no chests, nothing. It's a really boring room. And it's open. People can see you. I don't like that one. This room is alright, but it's bad because there's red, so people eventually will come here. It's pretty open, so people can see across. Not great. These 3 modules are very, very open. It's not really good. Not really good place to fight for a warlock. You want like some kind of corners or somewhere to hide. If someone starts to chase you down here and shoot you from far away, you can't really. They're gonna shoot you from far away. It's not really great, and people can easily fight you. However, this room has a downstairs. You can go. There's 4 places or like 8 places that can have pressure plates. So any of those 4 corners, there's a pressure plate. If you place a torch on that pressure plate, a door will open here. You can go downstairs. There's pretty good chests there. So if there's like 5 more minutes left into the match or not a lot of time, I usually go downstairs. I don't go on the start of the match because a lot of people are rotating. There's more players in general. So I usually don't go at the beginning, but at the end of the match, sure, it's good. The same thing for this one. I don't go downstairs at the start of the match, but once the blue portal is open, it's pretty safe to go down there. So even if someone rushes you, you can just take the blue out and you're you didn't get AP, but it's fine. You can still exit. Um, then this room is kind of not great. It's kind of open. Next to this room is kind of popular. People spawn around here. It's not bad. It's not bad. And this room, it's next to this room. It's bad. So you would not want to, if you're forced to fight, going in this room is kind of really bad for you. However, there's sometimes a skeleton champion upstairs. There's a big chest, and if you manage to break there's like a wooden thing. If you break that, you're pretty safe because in the corner here, there's a place you can jump down, and you can have a place to kite, basically. Because like the thing you don't want to Warlock to have is run out of space to run. So you will always have a distance to run, and sometimes it's just circle. You can just circle something around. You're chilling. For example, this map's not bad, pretty good, because you can circle forever. Someone's chasing you, you can always infinitely create space. So you always want to look for loops or places you can run, or close doors, or some kind of places. Because again, that's what I always think about when I go into the rooms. Like, okay, if someone pushes me, where do I go? And I have a plan ready when that happens. So some about the movement in the map. So if you want to avoid fights as much as possible, like a very good way to do it is if you see some kind of class, you run into a room that is not cleared, basically. So because people usually they don't want to chase or fight a guy that has 10 mobs on them. They're like, yeah, I don't want to do this. And weirdly enough, you would think that when you're clearing mobs, like people will ambush you, but in my experience, I never got ambushed when I was clearing mobs. If I had like 5 skeletons behind me, I'm doing something like that, people usually don't bother me. I don't know why. I'm kind of surprised about that, but I don't remember when that happened. Usually I get ambushed when I'm looting chests or being quiet or there's no one around. And also if you don't have, as a warlock, if you as a torture master warlock, if you don't have skeletons around you or like kind of mobs, then you're at a disadvantage, right? So if you have a skeleton next to you that you can curse and heal from, that's already an advantageous fight for you. So you always want to be in rooms or places where there's mobs around you. You don't want to fight in empty places because it's just free healing for you, right? So I had some times, for example, I play around the bridge. I'm here, I'm playing around the bridge. I see some guy, I just fucking run into this room, pull all the skeletons, everything, and they just leave me alone. Or like once I came here, I saw a fighter. He kind of tried to fight me. I cursed him once, run away. He crossbowed me once in the head. I was like 21 HP left, something. I phantomized, run through this shit, break this door, heal up from mobs, go here, and like he's gone. He's not following through all of that stuff to risk to kill me. And there was one time where there was wizard. I was pulling golems or something. There was wizard who actually did follow me through in this room, and he just got killed by the mage in PvE. Like I didn't have to do anything. He just died from that. So it's a good strategy just to pull mobs in you. And however, if you want to be really Giga Chad, really Giga Chad, what you can do when you spawn somewhere here, you can go to the bridge actually. Go into this room right here, pull the golem, go upstairs, pull the other golem, so you have 2 golems on you. So you have 2 golems, and then you start rotating into this room, pulling this whole room, going this room, pulling this whole room, while you have the golems on you. That's gonna, and just flame walk the golems until they're dead. I did that on the wrong time, so it didn't work. But if you want to be really Giga Chad, if you have not high rank, you can master this skill probably and this way of playing. I think it's really good because the golems again, you don't want to kill them on the bridge when people can shoot you from far away. You're vulnerable. If you have more mobs, it's super easy. You just have free food on you, behind you. When I was doing the golem pulls, I played during the day on the work day, and it was so weird because I was trying to avoid geared people always, but somehow I played a couple of games during the day on a work day. Everyone was pissed. Like every person in the lobby was super pissed and aggressive. And then I realized I need to play in the evenings. Then people are more relaxed, people are less gear. I know they're coming home from their work. they don't have so much time to play, something like that. Don't ask me exactly how it works, but that is something I noticed. But it's gonna be much easier for you guys because you get the separate lobbies. I had full lobbies, like every from 2000, from 200 to up to whatever gear score. I had full lobbies every time, right? So it's gonna be probably easier for you guys because 225 is the cap. So if you can manage your gear into that, you're gonna be probably more chill when doing these strategies. And the best advice at last, or the last, at very last, the best advice I have for you when you're queuing up in lobbies, make sure that you queue up in the last 20 seconds. You open up your clock on your computer, you look at the timer, and when the time on your clock hits like like 40, or you can go 15 seconds left, so it hits time 40, you go into the game, you start up at this point. And if you start up so late, a lot of times you just have half empty lobbies or even empty lobbies. So if you want to avoid fights, that's actually the best tip I can give you. Just load up later. And I have a theory, and I think that if you load up later as well, you will get people who farm AP more than beast people who want to fight others. So you'll get more AP farmers and you'll get emptier lobbies. So that's a lot of free AP right there. If you have any questions, you look at the replay, you want to see commentary, why did I did some stuff or what happened, let me know. And thank you for watching. Bye bye.